Stop. Stop, drop, and roll. Close your eyes. Be still. Find your center. Keep coming back to center. Center of your body, your spine. Open your shoulders. Connect with your hips, your organs, your cells. The center of your breath, this pressure system. Feel your breath. The center of your mind and senses. Keep coming back home. We begin chanting Om together 3 times to clear the channels. Inhale deeply. Be still. Look up, above the clouds. Relax your eyes, relax your brain. We're continuously processing information. Take a break. Embrace the not knowing, not doing, not trying. We're always pushing, pushing, pushing. We have to be clear about what is real and what is not real. Because if our core understanding about the life means the past, the present, what is the past, what is the present, what is the goal, what is happiness, if this is incorrect and we have misunderstanding the rules, then everything we're doing is going to be off. And so it's very important that we consider very carefully the foundation of our experience. And so I want to try to talk about a few simple concepts, and then we dive in for the questions. Before, I used to think that there were flowers, and that there were plants, and there were weeds. We have flowers and weeds. But then I came to see that there's no flower. There's no such thing as flower. There's a plant that is flowering, means the plant is going through its stages of growth from the seed to the sprout, to the branch, to the leaf. The flower is part of this process. It's not the end stage, then the fruit, then the seed. And so in the mind, there's a separate thing, there's a flower. But flower never exists separately. The flower is part of the process. Life is moving through the plant. This is the dharma. And part of that is the flowering, but the flower is impossible without the leaf, without the branch, without the tree. And the flower and the leaf are not separate. It's part of that same process. The roots and the flower are not separate. Also the fruit, what comes after the flowering, is not separate from the flower. And so in this way, are 2 leaves on the same plant, are they separate? Are they different? Right? We have this tendency of seeing everything as separate because we don't understand the interconnected web of being. But the mind is bringing about this idea of separation. But it's not true. It's not true. There's no flower that exists separate from the life in the plant. The plant, part of the process is flower. And so, we want the flower. We focus on one part and are missing the wholeness. And so, the idea is that what we need is to nourish the roots. We need to come back into this full process of life. And then life will naturally flower. That's part of it. But the flower can't force itself. It can't push itself. It can rip itself. And so what we need is to be present. So this idea of the past, what is the past? Is the past real? Right? So what is the past? The past must be everything that's happened everywhere before this moment. That whole infinite web of existence. But whatever I think is just a tiny little distorted piece of an infinitesimal fragment of that. So in my past is a tiny little distorted piece that no one else shares. No one else can see or know that. Even someone living with me, they have their own concoction of the past based on whatever features just stand out and so on. And that goes on changing and shifting. But my idea of the past is not the past. And no one else shares that same interpretation idea. And so the past that I experience is not the past, is not real. The same as the future. Whatever idea I have about the future, my expectations, my calculations and projections, is not actually what will happen in any way, shape, or form. And so no one else can share that either. And so this future is also like a fantasy. And so if the past and future are just a creation, then all that's left is the present moment. But the present moment cannot be known. We can't know it. It's the same in a sports game. The sports game the team is playing, someone's on the sidelines watching the game, a sports commentator talking about the game. By the time they see it and think it and put words and speak it, it's not the present moment, it's in the past. That which is known is in the past. For it to be known, it has to be perceived, conceptualized, etc. So the present moment is unknowable. And so the yoga focuses on being deeply grounded in this moment, in the game. Instead of standing on the sidelines, talking about it, trying to interpret it, right, to get into the game in this moment-to-moment way. And so we put our expectation in the past and the future, but are missing the present. And so this ties in with this final point on the goals. We have the idea that the goal, our life is focused on setting goals and achieving them. We have big ones that we do over decades and stuff, lifetime. We have little ones each day, these little mini goals. And our energy is generally based on, we push ourselves to make the goal, and for a moment we have a bit of relief, a release. It's a kind of excitement that we're told is happiness. But actually this is wrong. This has nothing to do with happiness. This is a kind of intoxication, like you eat candy and you feel excited. You get high temporarily. Right? You get something that you want or you achieve a goal, then momentarily you feel excited, kind of high, like a rush. But shortly after the sugar rush comes the down. And it's the same with this. You get what you want, you get it, it feels good to release, and then automatically you want something else. Because all we're training is on how to get something. Right? It's always something, reaching for something, because it's not enough. So we're in this continual stream of what's next, more, more, more. And then even we get that, it's never enough. Happiness is not an excitement or intoxication. Happiness is a kind of peace that comes after you've had like a good meal and it's enough. You're full. You're content. At home with what is. You don't have this feeling something's missing. Oh, but this and this and that, and I have to do this and fix that and change. No, there's no place for that in the real happiness. That's the story of not enough. So in this moment, you feel the wholeness, and that peace is a happiness. And so you'll never get that chasing goals. It will never come, because it's always in the future. It's always something more, just over there. First this and this and this and that. So even if you make it there, you're already reaching for the next one. You don't know how to be present here. We have to see that no amount of achieving goals and pushing and pushing and pushing will bring you here. Because the story is always there. It's always somewhere else. It's always somewhere else. It's either in the future or the past. But the life is here. And so when you're present, automatically you feel peace. You feel love flowing within you and around you and everything. When you're not present, then always you're looking for something. It's somewhere else. And so the key is to be present. This is the moral of the story. Right? Maybe the past is real. Maybe the future is real, and it's very important. But for sure, this moment, right, that is at least as important. And so if we can bring ourselves to be more present by listening, slowing down, breathing, it's like shifting gears. Right? To be present, it's not like you keep your foot on the gas and then try to hit the brakes at the same time. Right? You have to take your foot off the gas. And then you shift gears, you change the rhythm of your breathing, you learn to change the rhythm of your mind, and effort and desire. There's a rhythm. And so we're continually on the go mode, on just full, like that, or then crash, and there's no energy, can't go anywhere. We have to learn to calibrate and work with our inner rhythm to be in the state of aliveness and wholeness and presence. And this is the training of yoga. Right? Like the same way a sports player trains to play their sport, whatever sport. They're doing specific drills and exercises for the game, and then they're doing like cardio, they're doing like resistance work, they're doing all different kinds of things to train their nervous system and this muscle memory, and to get into the flow. Same with musicians. Right? In order to master the instrument, it takes a significant time of dedication and humility and many things, everything. And if we apply the same thing to really being truly alive and being ourselves, then 100% we can achieve that, because it's the most natural thing for life. More so than hitting a ball into a hole far away or throwing something into something. Right? To be at home in yourself is the very nature of existence. Human being is the only species that's not at home within itself. And this is a radical, it offers an incredible opportunity for experience and growth, but it also offers a real instability and possibility for tremendous suffering. And so that's why this subtle tuning, right, a musical instrument that's a little bit out of tune is very bad. And so that's why it's so important that we take time to tune ourselves every day. Yourself means what? Not your ego and the clothing, but the deep level. Your blood, nervous system, your hormones, your glands, the nadis, the spine, the brain, your breath, this heart, all the layers of the heart and mind. Like a garden, if we nourish the garden and water the garden and just give love every day through the practice, then automatically the garden will grow. If you water the garden will grow. That's the basic foundation. And so that's why we recommend to just try it and see, right? We used to say 40-day challenge. I think 100 days is better. 100 days is like 3 months. So commit to a fixed practice, daily practice for 100 days. Right? The recommendation we give now is 2%. 2% is 30 minutes. I used to say 4% like 15 years ago. Then went down to 3, now 2. 2%, in 30 minutes you can do like 15 minutes of asana, 5 minutes of breathing, 10, 15 minutes of meditation. It's enough if you do every day to stay in shape. For people who want to teach or really go deep on the path, then I think it should be minimum 20%, 5 hours. You can easily get 2-3 hours early, and then another hour in the midday, hour in the evening. And then once you establish that rhythm within yourself, you can always increase. But the key is to keep at least that fixed practice the same. Like every day, you take a shower and brush your teeth. You have clean clothes, that kind of thing. So this is part of the hygiene, basic hygiene, not just physical surface hygiene, but the hygiene for our hearts and minds. We wouldn't want to walk around with a bloody heart that's ripped in, like our body, like leprosy. We're walking around all kind of like all cut up and like that. We wouldn't do that physically. So also emotionally, mentally, we need to take responsibility, clean, and to take care of ourselves every day. Like we wash our clothes and stuff on the surface, for sure we can wash our minds, our hearts. We can clean our body, not just the surface of the body, but our organs, our cells, our biochemistry. This is also the real world, no question, that this within is the real world. And so take a few minutes every day, ideally first thing in the morning, right? A sports player usually warms up before they play the game. A musician usually tunes their instrument before they play, warm up before they play. So if first thing, before we go eat and talk and go online and bring up all the problems, we take that time just to be present with ourselves, to awaken the life in our bodies, hearts, and minds, to connect with nature. We can be in the sun, get some sunlight, or go walk in nature, do some journaling. No, we make a fixed thing. Same, you brush your teeth the same way every day. You take a shower the same way. So you start with a fixed thing. First I do this, that, like that, and then next the breathing, this, that, and then that doesn't change, never changes. Otherwise it's too much, oh, what should I do, maybe this or that, too many choices, it's impossible. You just set a fixed program and you insert that program into your daily rhythm for a couple of months. And then see, by that time, for sure, 100%, you'll know if it's effective or not. And how you know is not because you become like an acrobat or a gymnast or something, but because in your daily life, when you're not practicing, right, the other 23.5 hours a day, you feel more centered and alive and creative and passionate. You sleep better, you make better choices in how you eat and how you spend your time. This is the sign the practice is working. This is the good yoga. This is advanced yoga. It's nothing to do with an outer show. Of course, if you do the practice every day, sincerely, you'll get much more flexible and your body will become more powerful, alive. That's the side effect. We're not chasing after that. It's not another goal. You see, this is completely wrong. We've made now achieving some physical thing the goal of yoga, our whole attention. And so what happens when our attention is on the goal, then we're always making ourselves wrong. We're never good enough, no matter how much you try, how much you do. How can the plant grow when it's making itself wrong? How can the flower tend to say, oh, you're not good, it should be like this, you're not that, and that. How can it grow? How can it grow naturally and beautifully? Now we turn yoga into that also. So no competition with yourself, no competition with the past, no competition with the future. Let this moment be as it is. The practice that we awaken, we clean our bodies, hearts, and minds. We awaken our bodies, hearts, and minds. Afterwards, you feel more alive, more awake. Then this is a good practice. Meditation, good meditation doesn't mean it's pleasant. The effective medicine is all this shit inside. We have to clean ourselves. So the idea is just your 15 minutes meditation, put a timer, 15 minutes, and then you sit. You don't open your eyes, you don't move until the thing beeps. Afterwards, take some notes on what's coming up. Give yourself at least 100 days. Doing it every day. Ideally, same time every day. Otherwise, it's like playing the violin and you're like, oh, but it's, you pick it up for like 2 minutes a day and you take the thing and you just rub it on it. It's like, oh, it's not making the sound right or something. You gotta, it's like that. You pick up the tennis racket and you can't, the ball is going over the fence and into the ground. You just keep picking it up. Don't overthink it. Don't make a big deal. Best thing is, you brush your teeth, then you forget about it. So every morning you get up, and before all the trouble and problems, everything, you have a sacred space, and you come to tune yourself to establish this, integrated aliveness and breath and connection, body, mind, breath, the whole area, because all our emotions, thoughts, we're swimming in them. They're all here around us, all this. And so like you comb your hair, you comb through your nervous system, you comb through this energetic field, your breath, and it becomes very sweet and beautiful. And that serves to protect you and to keep your energy and many things, many benefits to having a nice vibration inside and around you. So it's like that. It's like we spend so much time on clothing our face, but if we cultivate beautiful hearts, beautiful mind, for sure the life is not coming from the surface. The quality of life has nothing to do with what we look like on the surface. More than our blood and organs are healthy, alive, our spine and nervous system, our hearts are alive. For sure, this has value. This has tremendous value. We're giving value to so many things, and we're completely neglecting ourselves and the essence, the source, the foundation, this connection with the source. And so it's not selfish. Unless we have that, then everything else is a lie. Everything else is fake. Without that connection, we're just, I don't know, let's try this, maybe that, I don't know, what should I do? Because we're disconnected. So we have to understand, unless we have that, then we can't really serve others. So it's just an excuse. We have these excuses why we can't be with ourselves, love ourselves, know ourselves like this. But we have to see clearly that we can't, there's no answer, there's no word. To know yourself is not like a addiction, like an obituary. It's not a category. It's not like, my life goal, my purpose in life. It's not like, a job or something like that, or some word or mother or could jump, whatever, a profession, something. It's an infinite, like the planet's infinitely unfolding, and they're infinite flowers. They're infinite lives within one life. And so the purpose of life is each moment flowing into the next. And so you can live yourself, you can live it, you can be it, but you can't speak it. It's not like, oh, I got it, and then it's done. You found it, you found that one thing, and it's that. There are infinite layers and dimensions. And so best just to be it. You don't have to explain it. If we're trying to find that thing or something, then we're missing it, because right now, it's each moment. It's each moment, it's each connection. The soulmate is the person you're connecting with in this moment. Sometimes the connection of a few hours can be more impactful than a connection for many years. And so it's really depending on our receptivity and openness to embrace the gifts and the dance of life that's this moment. But we always make it about the future or the past. You have to see that you'll never be fulfilled. You'll never find it. You'll never get it that way. Nobody has, and so it's unlikely that you will. Right? No amount of making a goal and then reaching it, and then making another goal and reaching it. And we do it all day, every day. And in doing it, we're hard on ourselves and we reach it, and then again, immediately begins. It's never enough. You have to see if it's enough, then we can continue. But it would seem, as far as I can tell, that it's never been enough for anyone. So the other option is that the goal is not somewhere in the future, but here and now. And so to be here and now, you have to shift gears. You can't keep your foot on the gas and then at the same time be trying to stop it. And this is a problem. People, meditation's so hard. No, you can't try. It's because we're trying to reach it. We're forcing, we're pushing to get to do it. Meditation, which is a not doing. And so you can't do the not doing. That's why I say first, become nothing, become nobody. And then that nobody, that nothingness resting in itself is meditation. But not be a person with all these problems is trying to meditate to fix something. You know, it's not going to work. That will create a friction. That friction is also necessary to unlock all of this stuck, these thoughts, emotions, everything. So that's part of the process. But you can go beyond, you can directly go through that if first you dissolve your body, your mind, the locus, any place, time, space, and then that itself is a meditation. But like being someone trying to stop a train of thoughts or change something or whatever, it's not going to work. But that anyway, that suffering or that struggle is a necessary part of the purification too. So it doesn't, so anyway, it's good. There's no way to go wrong. The only way to go wrong is to stop. Right? That's why we say just set a fixed program and do it for 3 months. Every day. Same time every day. Because what are we doing? We're repatterning our nervous system and our breathing rhythm and our habitual patterns of reaction and perception and desire. This is very deep level stuff. I mean, come on, we just want to stop eating too much ice cream, and it's such a struggle. Now you want to train yourself to be stable, grounded, present in comfortable, uncomfortable situation. This is, so either it's worth it. I mean, people dedicate so many hours and months and years to learning things like some craft or some language or something, some sport. So for sure, there must be value to perfect our capacity to be present, to be real, to be embodied, to be, to expand our hearts and open our minds. For me, it's clear that this is the school wasn't over in 12th grade or at university or doctorate or anything. In fact, that was almost like a side quest. The real education and depth comes in this moment-to-moment embracing and creative flow and connection with life. And so, yeah, this is we have to be clear. Is it real? Is this real? Is the goal real? Will reaching this goal make me happy? What is happiness? Who is happy? We look around. Where is the happiness? What is success? Is it in the past? Some trophies on the shelves? Are those true? What is the story? What's real? What's in my mind? And what's outside of my mind? Maybe the future. Maybe it'll be better in the future, just around the corner. We have to be clear. Everybody, real world this, real world that. So the two leaves on the tree, are they separate or are they one? Right, is this one? Was this one or is this two? Are there many? And the leaves fall and another season new leaves coming. Are these new leaves? Is it different or one? So the tree is the oneness. The tree, even the tree, the leaves, can you separate from the earth or the water or the sky? It's impossible for that leaf to grow, to exist, separate from everything. And so there's one organism that's expressing itself through everything. So in the same way, we're like the leaves on the tree, or like the molecules of water. You know, there's an apparent separation, but we know that we don't see clearly. We see the flower as separate, but the flower is not separate. So mind is cutting everything into little separate pieces, but this is a kind of a distortion of the mind. The same way that you look and you have a glasses and a pen and a coin, everything made of gold. Gold glasses, gold pen, gold coin, gold watch. So we're seeing the pen and glasses and watch. But really, there's only one thing, there's gold. Gold has taken different shapes. That gold will go started in a different shape, it takes the shapes, it will end in a different shape. So there's no glasses. Glasses is temporary function. of a certain shape. But there's one substance which is made into different shapes. In the same way, everything we see as one substance, you can call light or love, vibration, and something. There's a substance that's taking many shapes, and depending on different factors, that lasts for a certain length of time, and then everything merges back. And so, if we can feel that interconnected oneness of being, and before electricity, when we were still living in rhythm with life and more in a natural environment, it was very obvious because there was only that rhythm. Now we're living in a false time. You have to see, we're living in a false rhythm, false time. 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. This is a consumer time. This is has nothing to do with the universal time, where all the seasons and the ecosystems and the microcosm, macrocosm, everything is in the one rhythm. And then as humans, now we have this sub-rhythm, which is false time. And as a result, we're completely out of rhythm within ourselves, our biorhythm, our hormonal rhythm. Now everything is off. And you add on that all the toxic chemicals, everything, our air, our water, our food, everything is poison. So we need to get back into the natural rhythm. Before, when we were living in natural rhythm, it was we were much more in the flow. And so, let's see what questions. Can you explain the colors and the meanings in meditation a little deeper? For example, I see much dark blue. So we have what's called the gross senses and the subtle senses, or inner senses. Since most of the time we're completely focused on the outer world, then in general, our inner senses are much weaker. Again, because of electricity. After electricity, everything changed in our brains, our brain chemistry, in our perception. Now, since the digital thing, again, very much affecting the development of the brain and the functioning of the brain and the nervous system and the biochemistry. And so we have all this, however, in meditation, as we purify our nervous system, right, same things like fasting or different practices, silence, right, that help us to refine our antenna or our receptors, then we may have experiences, we may not. Some people see things, some people don't. Some people more feeling, some people more hearing, right? So during meditation, you may see some colors, right? If you do, that's great, but you don't need to chase it, right? And if you do see them, really, we don't need to get caught up in what means what. Like these, instead just relax. You can, if focusing on it helps you to go deeper, then focus on it, right? If not, just take it as a gift. But don't get, it's not the point. These are, again, the side effects. Just keep your center. Only thing is keep your center. Everything else will happen as needed. You're not involved with that. The same way, you're not involved with beating your heart, circulating your blood, cleaning your blood. You don't get involved in all. You trust it's going on properly. Right? You're not involved with digesting your food. So also you're not involved with meditation. Meditation is taking care of itself. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do this. You're like holding the machine and you're going to meditate the heck out of the fields and you're going to cut everything down and put everything in its place. That's the thing, what's crazy. We have no understanding what is meditation. Now it's like another way to get rid of the problem, to fix everything. Meditation, I heard that works. It's not like that. Meditation is you tap back into that essence, the seed, the womb from which everything has come, you go back into that. You don't exist in meditation, you never existed. No, we don't understand. You just bring yourself to you find the center, and then stay there longer and longer. Don't move, don't look, don't know anything. I don't know what's meditation. I don't know what meditation is. Who are you? I don't know who I am. Then you can be real, then you can be free. All these rules, all this knowing, all this blah, 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 and showing, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So, Colors are good. The chakras have their colors, everything, but we don't need to get caught in another dream, another trip, another fairy tale. That's why it's better you not knowing. Right? Because as soon as we want to make a story and it should sound good and everything, we get in trouble. Then we're expecting something, and then we have to prove something. Then it's no longer yoga. So take notes, keep your journal, read the teachings from the sages, but really they say, keep your practice a secret. Right? You don't, experiences and things you can share with your teachers or with but it's best really just to do it on the down low, right? Because it's very personal, very intimate, like making love, right? You don't go and broadcast everything about that. The process is about this deep alignment between oneself and the universe and the elements. It's like making love to the universe, and so when one is in alignment, the spine and the organs, everything, breathing, then this itself is act of love. It's not like, oh, I gotta love myself, where am I gonna find the love? It's like just existing itself in harmony with the moment. That itself is the deepest expression of love and creativity and wisdom. We don't need to know anything. It's not about proving anything or any kind of philosophy or anything like that. But when we are in tune in that way, then automatically all of our actions, all of our words, all of our thoughts are gonna arise from that essence. Whereas if we're acting like we're happy, everything, but deep inside it's like a storm, then all of our thoughts and words are coming from that place. Right? We have to see that whatever the tuning, however your instrument is tuned, then that's what you're bringing into the world. And so that's why, again, this process of tuning oneself is not selfish. It's the foundation. Without that, then we're just polluting ourselves and those around us. We don't want to do that. So we have to take responsibility and tune your instrument every day. Why haven't I got a question? There's no why in that though. No, there's no why. No question's perfect. Then if there's no question, then there's quiet. But if there's no quiet, then there's a question. There could be a question you don't know. But if there's really no question, then there's also no I. Our identity only exists because of all of these questions. So they give this question, who am I? And the point is, there is no answer. Right? You have to keep going deeper. Right? Who am I? I am this body. Okay, where in this body? Am I my elbow? Am I my shoulder? Am I this cell? Am I in my heart? Where? And so you go layer by layer. Am I this experience? Am I the picture of myself? Am I the 3-year-old or the 6-year-old or the 7? Who am I? And little by little, you look and you can't find. So eventually you ask, and there's just a space, a gap. That's the answer. You can't find the answer. Then you're free. You have to train your breath. By training your breath, you train your nervous system, this desire loop, this achievement, success. It's like the phone thing. It's the dopamine and stuff. So we set all these little mini obstacles or goals, and then we achieve them, and then we get angry at ourselves, we get happy, but it's all very momentary. It's not fulfilling deeply. Even the big goals, even the big ones, the whatever achievements, it's the same. It's no different at all. And then we feel it's empty. So the only thing, the past is empty, the future is empty. No, life is here and now. Present moment, you can smile, you can laugh, you can dance, you can grow, you can grieve. But the past is, it's not there. It's already digested, and it lives in this present moment as the essence of everything. But whatever specific pieces that we've cut out of the totality, and based on our limited understanding, interpretation of circumstances and causality, we've cut and organized in a specific story, which has been distorted and corroded by time and memory and our future experience. That is not the past. It's not the past. The past is everything, everywhere, every moment, of which that is a distorted fragment of nothing. The present also is not what's happening in this room or within my perception here. Present moment means everything everywhere at once. Right? So swallow everything everywhere at once. Everything, all the molecules and atoms and all the ants and the worms and the fish and everything. Imagine everything at once, all the thoughts and desires of every creature everywhere at once. Of all the solar systems and galaxies and everything. This is present moment is touching everything. It can't be known. Whatever is known as false. Flower. I know the flower. I have this word in my head, flower. So I see a flower. I think flower. I don't know anything. The word flower is not this flower. Abstract. It's an abstract category. This particular type of flower, within this particular type of flower, each flower is completely unique. Completely unique, the petals, everything about it. So I don't see anything. I just see these abstract categories, meaningless. It's empty and meaningless. It's false. And all my whole worldview is constructed on the false categories. We set ourselves up in impossible situation. We can never find love or happiness within that impossible puzzle. Love, creativity, happiness, peace, only possible here and now, in the present moment. Not in the past or the story about the past, not in the story about the future. But we're always in the past and the future. That's why the sports game, when they blow the whistle, boom, it's on. In that moment, you're present. You're not thinking about the past or the future. Not thinking about the last game. Not thinking about what you have to eat. We've experienced that presence at times. No, you're on a trip, some hiking, and this moment, you're present. No, you have a romantic encounter, and you spend these hours together. You don't even know time, sleep, anything. This intimacy with the present moment, this level, to bring that into each moment, to train that we can live with that depth of aliveness and connection. It's not about acrobatics. Why we don't eat meat. I don't like to speak for we. I can speak for I don't feel any desire to eat the living creatures like animals. I don't know. I think that definitely, like, you have certain species like the carnivores where I've seen them eat. And they catch their prey and they rip it apart with their teeth and the blood everywhere. And they eat all the parts of it, without preparing or making something else. That's what a real carnivore for sure. And their biology, everything seems to be a bit different. I've never seen anyone like that tear apart an animal and eat the parts. It's very, very, so it's, our way of eating is very disconnected from the nature and natural cycles now also, with our evolution, all this supermarket and canned goods and chemicals, everything. So our way of eating is bad. And the food and how we eat is completely 100% affects our mood, our emotions, our thoughts, our energy levels, our body. 100%. Not only that, but we're not preparing our own food. It's prepared by some people who are underpaid or angry or full of emotions, and the food is, we have no idea about where it's coming or anything about it. So we're eating all of those toxic emotions and thoughts and heavy energies, and the food is full of chemicals and spices and everything. It's poison. We're poisoning ourselves with all day, every day. With our clothing also is poison. Chemical and dyes and plastics, our clothing, our bedding, our skin is breathing in the poison. And so it's important to, people pay attention to what kind of fuel you put in your car. That's important. So what are you taking in? And how is it affecting your emotions, your thoughts, your energy, everything? So we have to experiment and see. We have to find out for ourselves what's important. It's important the flavors and taste and desire. Are we eating from desire? Or are we eating for medicine that's going to heal us? Cancer rates are very high, very high. We have so much addiction to food. Really, we're not eating for hunger. We're eating because of boredom or because of frustration or from emotions, everything. We're so out of touch. We're so out of touch with ourselves and with nature and the cycles of life. And so we have to experiment and see. I think what's important is simple. Eating simple food. Simple whole foods, if you can make with your own hands, fresh. If you can join a CSA, community share agriculture, all over the world, then you get fresh local stuff, relationship with the farmer, with the earth. The food is full of prana. It's not just because it tastes good that it has life force anything. Really, we're eating the food, we can hardly digest. Our digestion's compromised. Right? And so it takes more energy and we're not even getting anything out. It's almost at times a negative. To break down all these things, meat takes many, many, many hours, lots of enzymes. No, you dairy, cheese, all this fried food. Right? And in the end, what do we get? Anything? Is there anything? Is it just empty? We have waste to remove, and we're deficient in minerals, we're deficient in nutrients. And we have no idea. We have no idea. Our body, how's my blood? How's my health, my organs? We don't know. We call myself, this is myself. But we have no idea about how it is, what's going on. And so the food is essential. That's number one thing that's affecting our thinking and our emotions and our mood and our energy levels. And so everyone has to figure out for themselves. For sure, if we need to eat meat, we can reduce it. Maybe instead of 21 meals a week, 7 days, 3 meals a day. Ideally, we can reduce to 2 meals a day. This is much healthier in every way. But 21 meals, so then only a couple with the meat. And then see. Anyway, point is, how are you going to function at your optimal level? Is it eating meat all the time? Eat the meat. Is it eating just raw food? Eat the raw food. It depends what your goal is in life. If you want to just enjoy and do what you want it depends. But for sure, the food is way more important than we're considering. Much more important in determining your mood, your emotions, your thoughts. How can I stop the self-punishment? How to stop feeling pain? So, as long as we're stuck in the ego story and trying to fix it or find success within that, it's always going to be punishment and pain. It's never enough. It's never enough. Even the great people, everybody, because all we know is this pushing. If all you know is to push for more, you don't know how to stop pushing and to be with what it is. And so the only way to get there is you have to keep whipping the cow. Come on, keep going. Try harder, do more, faster. It's just around the corner, like that. You have to see that is the way of this model. That's the only way. Right? That or drugs or whatever it takes to push to get over the line, because it never comes. No matter, it's just a little further. College, university, and the job, and this one and that one. It just keeps moving, receding into the horizon, that finish line. And after so long of always pushing to get there and never making it, we don't know the taste of being here. You get the ice cream. Before you know it's finished, you didn't even taste it. Right? Or you savor the ice cream, each lick, you blissed out. Right? It's the same. We have to. It's so But we keep pushing, but why, right? If someone's made it, if you can do it that way, right? But it would seem that no amount of success financially, right, or the rich people, the famous people, the beautiful people, the powerful people, right, are all equally as miserable, if not more, because they have that and they see that it's empty. And so what we're saying is that the goal is not over there. Actually, there doesn't even exist. It's an imagination. That the goal, if we can call it that, is here at this moment. The purpose of life is this moment, which will flow into the next. And this moment is an accumulation of everything that's ever happened everywhere. It's continually peaking. The river is flowing and it carries with it everything. And so we have to ride that unknown. And we put so much energy into making some identity or something, some story that's clean and whatever, but it's hanging on to that which is keeping us from allowing to evolve and to grow and to be real. It's the story. And we have to see the story is fake, it's not real. These are just the little pieces. We pick little pieces, and whatever story identity we have about ourselves, nobody else has that same story. Our loved ones don't have that, are not sharing our story. They don't know. Even we express it and explain it, they're making their own story. So the story that we have is no one else can see it, and no one else really cares even in the end. And so we can just drop it. Right, like when you're a child and you have a blanket or something or a stuffed animal you can't live without, then at one point you just see it and you drop it. In the same way, we drop all the old patterns. It's this death rebirth thing. That's why you need a strong practice, so that each moment you can die, each moment you can be born again. Otherwise, it's like we invested so long into a certain way of thinking or a certain thing. As soon as you can see that it's false, that it doesn't serve you, immediately you have to cut it. But it takes a tremendous amount of strength to be willing and ready to let go immediately. That's why we need the practice, to have that inner strength. Okay. Turbo round. Rip curl, deep in heart, disturbed by what I know, I must and want to let go of obsession. We listen to our mind too much. We're too obsessed with the ramblings of our mind in general. It's not like a spoiled child always complaining. Our mind is like that, and still we're like hanging on all that. We have to ignore our minds. Learn to ignore your mind, and instead of on the surface, like on the surface of the ocean, other waves. Okay, but go beneath the surface. Beneath the surface, there's no waves. Even if they're still moving on the surface, you ignore that. And little by little, you're able to just be present. As long as we're constantly thinking, then not possible to rest in awareness. And why the thinking? The thinking to fulfill our desires and our goals. So as long as you're continually, all these endless goals, then you can't stop thinking. But I can assure you 100%, if you're able to shift gears and enter in this state of presence, you'll achieve your goals infinitely more efficiently and smoothly than by constantly thinking. The thinking is very clumsy, very heavy. We're out of tune with that universal flow, intelligence, and wisdom. When you can be quiet and receptive, then you are the intelligence of the universe. It's not separate. You are the peace, you are the love, that which is flowing in everything. So because of this control and separation, then we block ourselves off from that creative flow. So the key is less thinking. Then your thinking becomes much, much more beautiful, focused, sweet. But we need to train that, because we've been training just thinking, multitasking, constant thinking, and we've been stuck in that mode for so many years continuously, taking for granted that that's the only way and that that's how it's supposed to be. So we have to challenge that, question that. If it is, then that's fine, no problem. But I think that there's a different way. Question. When meditating, the thoughts keep coming. I push them aside and they seem to fade. But in that, because I am here and have less distraction than in everyday life. Also, if I hear the birds outside or think of the sea, and that stops the intense thoughts, is that still meditation? Okay, yeah, this is good. So, is it because you're here? Means when you're present, then that's the case. No matter where you are located on the earth, when you're here, then that will be the case. It's easy to be here, because the whole focus of everything that's been created here is for that purpose. Whereas generally in life, there's different rhythm. The purpose is to sell you something or to make you feel bad or whatever. So then it's more difficult to be here. But when you really know the taste of being here, when you know that feeling inside and you can feel that it's what it is to be here, then of course it will become more and more natural. As you practice, like you practice shooting the basketball, dribbling the basketball, then it just becomes easier. It becomes more natural. As you practice centering yourself, resting in awareness, not clinging to anything, that will also become more and more natural. Where there'll be times where it's difficult, sure, whatever, who cares? Because the purpose of meditation is not for it to be easy or to get good at meditation. You have to see, please understand this, everyone. The purpose of meditation is deep cleaning of the body, heart, and mind so that we can be grounded, connected throughout the day, and we can live a rich, creative life. So we let the meditation be what it needs. Even the meditation is painful, like blah, like it's the most painful thing. Let it be, so the other 23 hours a day, we feel light and alive and inspired. Right? The meditation will be what it will. It will naturally progress as needed. But the focus is not on the meditation. Focus is on the quality of your life, your inner rhythm, the way you breathe, the way you treat yourself and others. This is the focus. It's not about, but you do anything again and again and again, even you're not trying, right? But you study a language for 10 minutes a day, and even not trying, eventually you're going to it will become natural. So meditation is tricky because it's like everything is kind of mysterious and unknown. But that's why I say 3 months every day. It's like learning a foreign language also. That's kind of unknown. Like, oh, where are these words? How do they connect and everything? We don't know. But if you practice again and again, you can start to speak the language. Meditation, you start to speak this language of being. Where in the moment, throughout the day, you tap into being. And you experience, you see the beauty around you, unexpected. Or a situation that usually make you angry, you laugh at yourself. Right? Or you're able to, you have all this insight and ideas that are coming. Or you can read the energy of the people around you and spontaneously, naturally, you're drawn to the right people and move away from the wrong people. This is a sign it's working, but it's on too big of a scale. We can't pay attention like that. So do it just 3 months. And then keep a journal, take notes on your life, on your experiences. I guarantee you, if you were to practice ping pong every day for 3 months, I can guarantee you that you will become proficient, have a good conversation on the ping pong table, right? If you practice being present within yourself, organizing your body, your biology, your breath, opening the doors of your heart and mind. If you do every day this cleaning and organizing, I assure you, what if you're scared to let go? I want to go deeper in meditation, and I feel my body is ready, but my brain is still waking me up to stay where I am. So that's part of letting go, that fear. Everyone's afraid to let go. That's the threshold. That's the control, and letting go, surrender. That's just the process of surrender. So we have to lean into that. Right? It will evolve with time, over time. You don't need to force, right? But you need to be sincere in your practice. This is the main thing. Only very few, probably only 1 or 2% of the yoga people have a practice. And of that 1 or 2%, people aren't even really sincere. You just kind of do what you feel like kind of thing. So there's really generally lacking the kind of same training you'd have in high level of music or arts or sports. It's completely lacking, even in just the physical aspect of the yoga practice, let alone the whole integrated science and so on. And so the key is the regular daily practice. And the practice itself is not a performance, and it's not like a show, right? It's really just like you comb your hair, right? You're literally combing your cells, get all your cells vibrating in unison. You have your nervous system and the prana, the pressure awake, everything tingling, alive, your brain, all the different parts of your brain waking up and vibrating and buzzing. No, your senses, you're cleaning your eyes, your ears, your nose. It's like the difference between like a Neanderthal and like a regular person. You know, there's such a the subtle. You know, imagine you would wear the same dirty clothes for like months. That would be disgusting, right? So in the same way, if we never clean our hearts or minds, it becomes so crusty and dirty and like this. And so when we're actively, this alchemy, also like biologically, physiologically with our glands and hormones and everything, when instead of being stuck and heavy and disconnected, it's vibrating alive like this. It's a completely different existence. And so meditation, and meditation is not separate from the asana, it's not separate from the breath, it's not separate from the vibration. Everything is meditation. Meditation is a relationship of deep presence. But it's important that we have the silent stillness meditation where we can dissolve everything back into the seed. Then to carry that with you as mindfulness, right? This is called mindfulness, which is like meditation in action. But it's not an effort, it's a rhythm. That's why you have to shift your underlying rhythm. That's why you have to practice again and again and again and again. Because it's not like, oh, I did it right. It's not about what you're doing. It's about the underlying rhythm, the underlying vibration in your breath, in the tension that's held in your organs and cells, in your face. It's about that underlying rhythm. When that rhythm becomes very sweet and fine and connected, then everything you do will automatically flow from that place. That's what we're working on. So it's not, we don't have to like fix and wear the things in the past, but by cleansing, purifying that underlying rhythm, then that is where your attention will go now. Like if I'm all the time thinking about these people that I don't like or this thing that happened that I don't like, I'm bringing that into this moment. But if instead I'm so deep in this moment that I'm then experiencing, I'm riding the wave of the moment and experiencing this, then that falls away by itself. There's no one to bring it here. It's not, there's no one, I'm the only one who's carrying all the problems from the past. And so it's not that we fix the problem, it's that we recenter our focus on the present moment, and then that falls away by itself. Any attempt to change that or fix that is just feeding it. And so what we need is to bring our whole self here and now. And everything that's already happened is already included in that, automatically. So we don't have to carry all the bits and pieces. And so this is the focus, to be present. If the sounds help you to be present, focus on the sounds, definitely. There's a certain tradition that uses the sound as an anchor. But don't, hang on to the sound until you're so deeply present and the sound disappears. Same with all the focus. I mean, the anchor is held till the point where you become very, very fine. Your breath is so fine, you can't tell you're breathing, then poof. And that could be for 1 second. That second could last for 1,000 years. Right? There's no time. You go beyond time, so there's no one to know it. You can't know that. You only know when you've come back. One drop, just one split second of that pure essence is more precious than gold and diamonds and everything. This is what they call the nectar in your brain. There's certain secretions and stuff. So this is really priceless, precious. How to end with the madness. Can somebody stop feeling envy? How to become a lovely person. Yeah. Daily practice, they're like watering the garden. You water the garden. You spend every day, you have a garden. Someone gave you this piece of land. It's full of weeds and it's all whatever. So you go every day and you start. At first, it's more difficult to get the garden going. You have to cut everything. You gotta till the soil, aerate the soil. You gotta pull out the rocks. You gotta pull all the weeds, right? And then plant the seeds, and then it's slow to establish the garden. But once you get it going, then it just requires a little bit of attention every day. So in the same way, you have to clean your body, heart, and mind, and you have to recenter yourself here and now, and then more and more, bring yourself into the moment. And then naturally life will guide you where you need to go, what you need to do. That's all. Yeah. What are some strategies to quiet your thoughts while meditating and keep those intrusive thoughts out? So, the thought is not an intrusion into the meditation. This is the field of meditation. Okay, this is happening within the field of meditation. It's part of the meditation. It's not impeding the meditation or something that's wrong, and so you can't meditate. That what you're describing is the meditation. Okay, that is the field, and we'll be still. And then because our mind is so we're all the time like an antenna that's thinking and talking like that. Then there's residual thinking, and so that's part of it. And so over time, we're wearing down that mechanism by sitting longer and longer in the stillness, right? And by learning to change, like on a radio, you change the dial, it's a different channel, right? So we're stuck on certain preset dials with certain emotions and thoughts and energies. And so through the practice of first movement, right? What I would say is that if your practice of the movement, the asana, with the deep breathing and awareness is good, then by the time you're done that, you should already be in a very deep state. Then we go into the breathing, we're tuning even more subtle level. By the time you finish the breathing, you should be already in a very quiet state. From there, we work with vibration, and then, right, from there, it's like you just let go. Then, say after some time you become agitated again, then you can again focus on your breathing or something like that to get back into the zone. But it's not like we need more armor to keep the thoughts out or something like that. It's not through control. That's the thing. You see, we want to do it right. We're trying to control. We're trying to force the meditation. We think meditation means the thoughts that stay there somewhere else, and I'm going to do it right. It's first, become nobody. Become nothing. As nobody, you don't know anything. Like when you go to sleep at night, nothing, there's nothing. In the same way, nothing, nobody. Right? As nothing, nobody, there's nowhere for the thoughts to stick. Otherwise, it's like, oh, I got to keep those thoughts, and bam, 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 and we're like shooting the thoughts wherever they come. And the meditation it's like a fire you light, and then it bubbles, the waters, all the impurities coming to the surface. So the thoughts coming up, that's the action of meditation working. It's bringing it out, right? But when you vomit it up, don't look at it. Just flush the toilet. This is the thing. Really, the thinking is like farting, right? We have too much gas. We're eating the wrong food, then we're full of gas, we keep farting. So we're all the time thinking, and then we want to pick through it. You just have to flush the toilet, really. Immediately, flush the toilet. And take notes, right? Of course, we have certain patterns, we have certain themes, we have certain lessons that we're going through. We want to learn them as quickly as possible, but we're too much attached to the thoughts and the past. Okay, quick. 1, 2, 3. It's 11:12. If someone has a massage, immediately, just a heads up. How can you fully forgive yourself even if you know what you did was very wrong? Are there techniques, perspectives, or something else? So forgiving oneself or forgiving another is not about like a court, like a law where it's like this is wrong and this is right. Has nothing to do with that. It's just understanding that everything in the universe is as it is every moment. At a molecular level, at a cosmic level, everything is in its place. Everything is what it is, right? And that's it, right? And that we see ourselves as the center stage, at the center of the universe, right? But it's actually not the case. We're not, right? As we're just part of this whole infinite mess. And so everyone is in its place, right? I go walk through nature right now. I think, oh, it's so terrible, all these wars and killing them. It's so terrible. But then I go and take a walk from here to my house, and I accidentally step on an anthill. And I destroy a whole civilization. I kill all these ants. Who am I? There's so many things. We don't know anything about the infinite web of life. And so the forgiveness is not interpreting anything. It's a kind of letting go. Because we become hyper-focused on things, and then we become stuck. Right? It's like you eat some food, you can't digest it, and it stays inside always like a poison. Right? We've got to get it out. We can learn from things and then bring that wisdom into the present moment. But anything that's keeping us from being present, anything that's robbing us from the present, any story from the past, right? We have to release that. So the forgiveness has nothing to do with the past. The forgiveness is a kind of allowing us to be present. Without that, then we never, because, and only by being present can we fulfill our purpose. And so there's no amount of thinking or anything about the past is going to help with that. How to find and stay on the light. Point between the eyes. It's like anything. Over time, you feel it kind of locks in. At first, when you turn your eyes to look up, your eyes might be flickering or something. This is normal, but you want it to relax. And over time, you can feel it's like a certain pressure that's moving up instead of moving out. Usually, our eyes, we're looking out, and it's like daggers. We're like really looking to try to get something or what we want, or we're hiding different ways. But when you turn to look up, then it's activating different process in the brain and the glands and thinking. And so over time you see it's kind of like a sweet spot. You find the sweet spot and it feels kind of blissful, expansive. And sometimes I describe it like this. You go outside on a bright day and it's like blinding light. You can't see anything. So the same way, when that light is shining, the sun, when you go up above the clouds, then you can't see anything. It's just light. You can't see your body. There's no body. You can't see your mind. There's no mind. And you can be free in one instant. In one instant, you can drop all the stories and the identity, everything you think you are, in just one instant. Because again, you're the only one that's carrying that. Nobody else knows. Everything, you're the only one carrying all these problems, situation stories, everything. So in that same way, if you can organize yourself, your breath, your attention, then immediately you can enter into that state of presence. Last one. What is the relationship between creativity and dharma? So like we have a seed. You have one tiny seed, you plant it. Then the seed is sprouting and growing. So the dharma of the seed is, the life of the seed is contained within that seed. The dharma is contained within the seed, but then the dharma is expressing itself in space and time. That is a creative process. Right? This is what we call Shakti. So the seed is Shiva, and the life is Shakti. The seed means, the seed is beyond space and time. Right? And then all of a sudden the life emerges from that seed. So the life, the growth, matter, energy, form, all this is Shakti, Divine Mother. And the seed, which is beyond space and time, the space within which that expresses itself, this is Shiva, or the father. And so the creativity is the dance of Shakti on Shiva, or the dance of the life within the space. And so life itself is creativity, life itself is the Dharma. There's creativity and Dharma are one. There's a great book we have by Chogyam Trungpa, who was this wild Tibetan yogi, and it's called Dharma Art. Many of these yogis, Adida as well, they were all artists. In the past, all the great philosophers, scientists, were also philosophers and linguists and artists as well. Now in this hyper specialization, then we're disconnected from the essence. Now it's all about money. And so the Dharma and art are one and the same. Yeah. Okay. Enough talking. Take a moment to come back to center. Like focusing a camera lens. No, organize your body, your spine, your belly, your heart. Close your eyes, soften your eyes, soften your breath. Slow down. The truth is not in the words, it's in the space between the words. You don't need any words to be yourself. The words get in the way. When you're present, you are yourself. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to justify it. This is freedom. This moment, you're already yourself. Next moment, also, you'll be yourself. But nothing is missing. Be at home within yourself. It has to be here. It can't happen later. You can't put it off. It will never come. To be at home within yourself. You don't even know what that is. You can't explain it. We'll close chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Inhale deeply. Shanti Shanti